All right, hey guys, Mr. Fazio here again. Here is video number 2 of this little mini lecture series. So, on our last video talked about the geography, where the religion starts, and a little bit about where it's going to spread to. But now I want to talk to you about what happens after Muhammad dies. The religion is going to face a little bit of a challenge because when Muhammad dies, he's not immortal. He does not live forever. Uh, the Prophet Muhammad does not name a successor. Okay, and the successor is called the Caliph. Caliph is the name given to the political leader of the empire. So Muhammad does not name a successor. He does not name someone to lead the Muslim community after he dies. And Muslims disagree over who should rule. And they actually split into two groups. And the two groups are called Sunni and Shiite, sometimes called Shia Muslims. These two groups still exist today. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the differences. The main difference, as we go to the next slide, between these two groups is, again, really who should rule after Muhammad. Sunni Muslims believe that the caliph or successor does not have to be related to Muhammad. I'm going to underline that. They believe that any good Muslim who is chosen can rule. Their viewpoint is that there is no prophet after Muhammad. And the inspiration from God comes from the example that he set, that his followers wrote about. Now, Shiite Muslims believe very differently. They're definitely more traditional. They believe that the caliph should be a direct descendant of Muhammad. Okay, someone who followed him in his family line, directly related to him, a son of his son. Okay, something like that. And they believe that these descendants of the prophet are called imams, and they are divinely inspired religious leaders. They have the ability to interpret the Quran, which is the holy book of Islam, and they have the ability to interpret the actions of Muhammad. So this is a very big difference that still exists today. Both of these groups still exist. I'm going to show you a map in a second, so you can kind of see where these people are. Let me just erase this real quick. You know, it's kind of similar, guys, to something that we spoke about with the Christian religion, which was the Great Schism, if you remember, when the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox split. Well, same thing here. So there are some similarities between the two groups. If you look at this first bullet, they do both believe in the same God, okay, Allah. They're both monotheistic. They believe that Allah is their one true God. They both look to the Quran for guidance, and they both follow the 5 pillars of Islam. Remember, those are the 5 religious duties that all Muslims are supposed to carry out. Where they differ is in certain areas of their religion, certain practices. They differ in law and just daily life. Now, if you look at this map here, let me shrink this a little bit. You'll notice that there's a kind of an interesting stat here. Less than 15% of the world's Muslims are Shiite or Shia. Most Muslims are Sunni. So about 85 to 90% of Muslims are of the Sunni branch. Most Shiites you're going to see, these are the countries with the higher percentage of Shiite Muslims. Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Kuwait, and really Syria, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, their percentage is 1 to 20%. In Iran and Iraq, you see about 56 to 100% of Muslims being of the Shiite faith. So again, just to recap, most Muslims are Sunni. And they do come to an agreement as to who should rule. Eventually what comes out of this is they do agree that a gentleman named Abu Bakr is going to, who is Muhammad's father-in-law, is going to come to lead the Muslim community. And that's where my next lecture is going to go. All right, so that's it for now. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the kind of this little bit of a divide between the Muslim community, and we'll review a little bit. I'll bring it up again in our next lecture.